You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. I'm Natalie Fort. Let's take a look at the top stories this evening. Kolebu Teaching Hospital suspends surgeries over the malfunction of their elevators. We'll find out more. Also coming up, opposition NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama accuses Electoral Commission of doing a shoddy job as the party accuses the EC of secretly removing names from the register.
The Electoral Commission opened the register for people to go and look at, inspect their names. I'm sorry to say there's a lot wrong with the register. The EC has to sit up.
Meanwhile, a campaign aide of MPP flag bearer Anthony Carbo has defended the inability of his boss to implement some of his policy proposals in his current position as vice president.
Those of us who knew and understood the governance system knows that a vice president doesn't have the authority to proceed. The things that Baumia has, the okay and support of his president, he's told you well over 30 policies.
And ahead of our Voters Connect program on Thursday at the Ododo Constituency, we shall tell you how the residents are gearing up for the parliamentary elections.
For Oshiki, ma NDC parliamentary candidate, Ejakeshi, Bemini, 2016, na Chakemi.
Abdul Manaf Niajesoa, he's winning this seat.
And on the labor front, 3 teacher unions threaten to embark on industrial action over the refusal of the government to fulfill some pledges to them.
The monies that you have taken from our salary regarding our tier 2. What kind of injustice is the monies that you have taken from our salary regarding our tier 2? For 12 good months, you have not given it to our scheme. Why? What kind of...
We bring you the details of these stories and much more news here on News Tonight. Let's get started with some election-related stories here on your Election Hub. You're watching News Tonight. Let's start off with election-related stories. The opposition NDC continues to raise doubts about the ability of the Electoral Commission to conduct a credible election in December. The party says it has discovered some discrepancies in the voters' register, which was recently given to political parties, and it is demanding a meeting with the Commission to resolve the impasse. But flag bearer of the party, John Dramani Mahama, is accusing the elections management body of doing a shoddy job in terms of compiling the register for the 2024 elections. He was speaking at a rally on Wednesday.
Recently, the Electoral Commission opened the register for people to go and inspect their names. I'm sorry to say there's a lot wrong with that register. The EC has to sit up so that we don't have any confusion on election day. The EC is an important institution in us having peaceful elections in this country. So if the EC commissioners are listening to me, you better wake up. You're not doing your job properly. A lot of people cannot find their names. Other people's names have been transferred without their knowledge. People have registered for proxy without using their biometric cards. People who have done multiple registration, their names are still on the register. Nanya Electoral Commission exhibition of voters register. Na mekachi omo say abatu ono ebeya asumdwa ejina omo. If you say omo be register no enyoma pi atosing ni sa register no. Enti omo hwe akabeye bosom miensa ni ato aba. Sa register no so omo hwe no omo papa mu na omo ye ni ye. Say na ebeya sa ada no biama because obi register polling station okoho anidi ni ho ye di ni dia ko share different polling station na sada na obi ni abre okoto aba no akọ polling station a wo ko churo odi ni aka se odi ni mu a ebufo emma na da be na obenya emre in 1990 polling stations akọhwe se odi wo polling station bia enti na make us say almost sorry no munye omo adwuma yie na abatwe ankoye bibia yempe ye NDC for year asomdwefo ye pese.
Well, meanwhile, the NDC in the Ejumako Enyan Esiam constituency has accused the Electoral Commission of secretly transferring over 3,000 names from the register. Professor Jonathan Ahin is the constituency chairman for the area.
The register nation a transfer of voters are what transfer on our constituency no pay one more the man or pen drive no do it was 4,286. Yes, so time away transfer exercise no yanda you collect all the daily printout and here with there number of votes are transfer as per this particular period in the war exhibit no supposed to be 1,271. In fact in the electoral commission our Ejumako director or confirm me and figure the accurate figure of the number of voters transferred into a constituency per their printout. It's them 4,286 no you with there electoral commission apart from that discrepancy I hear about 3,017 and now what them register what my name so in Ahin you register you there warrior exhibition no na me ya woman there Ahin register is different one register so warrior exhibition so centers so a different and na print out so the actual transfers from other constituency into our constituency also and so different. We have three figures. One, soft copy of what my Wakra 4,286. Mawankasa were exhibited as number of transfer voters 2,870. And ma print out and so what say Yankasa our transfer and where next vision so 1,271. It is here the 1,271 compare 4,286 difference in 3,017 new voters transferred from unknown source. And so if you are while one is so exhibited no and the 2,870 in CC so 1,271 the actual number of votes are here you print out no district director of elections director of electoral commission what confirmed to us now 1,509 per their own calculation now here you see registered there 3,017. Who sends the electoral commission about why such incompetent job and see you with there collaborators working GHOne no why they want to rig these elections at all cost. Now American had a hango Obion made me and say that GHOne cannot rig us.
Well, those are concerns from the NDC there. Let's now engage the Deputy Director of Elections of the opposition, NDC, for more on these concerns that have been raised. Dr. Rashid Tanko has joined us via Zoom for a conversation on this. Good evening to you, Dr. Tanko. Thank you for joining us. Now, we just heard some concerns being raised, figures that are not tallying, and you say that the EC is bent on rigging the elections. Run us through what other discrepancies you have observed with regards to the register.
It's very clear now that the EC is bent on disturbing the democratic process in this country. Clearly, you have seen it yourself. The evidence abounds. In fact, we have seen 5 serious discrepancies in the provincial voter register, as stated by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our flag bearer. He's on top of issues. That these issues are germane to the heartbeat of our electoral process. One, a lot of people's names have been illegally transferred from their polling stations to different constituencies, not even within the constituency. You have not applied for any transfer. You've gone to check your name, and you are told that your name has been moved from your constituency to another constituency. Another discrepancy that we have seen was what His Excellency was talking about. People who are not supposed to be in the register because they have done multiple registration or they were challenged and their challenge was successful, their names are still found in the register. Their names are still in the register.
Right.
This is an illegal process. Some people did not even apply for proxy, but they have put their names in proxy registers. They never applied for proxy at all, but they have found their names in proxy registers. Who did that? Who compiled those things? And just what our minority leader constituency, look at what they have put in there. An illegal transfer of over 3,000 people into the constituency. Who put them there? Who sent that data? Thank God we have written to them. They've responded. Right. They've invited us to meet them on Friday to have a thorough discussion over some of these discrepancies to see the way out. Because this register as it is now is completely sick. It cannot be used for any purpose whatsoever.
The register is sick and the EC is bent on disturbing the democratic process, you say. But you highlighted very briefly, you say this Friday you are set to have a meeting with the EC.
Very well, very well.
Right.
They responded today. In fact, this evening that they sent us their response that they are willing to engage with us on Friday so that we come and discuss some of the issues. We are ready for them. We are prepared for them. In fact, we've cataloged all the 5 top thematic areas where the discrepancies occur. Right. And so that we'll present it. It's widespread. It's across the country. It's not about only 1 or 2 regions. It's all the 16 regions are covered.
But specifically, what outcome would you hope for from this meeting that would make you, revert on the fact that you say that the EC is bent on disturbing the democratic process? What exact response will you want from the Electoral Commission going into the meeting on Friday?
Oh, like our flag bearer rightly stated, we want them to do the right thing. I have not applied for transfer. Don't transfer me. Bring me back to my polling station. Simple and short. It's a simple matter. People have not asked for any transfer. Why do you transfer them? Put them back to their original polling station. Simple and short. That's why we want to give them that data. Those who are not supposed to be in the register, they were challenged, and the challenge was successful. We have all the records. Take them out from the register. Simple and short. No problem. Those whose name found themselves in the exception list, they are not supposed to be in the exception list because nobody challenged them. They are not dead people. They are alive. Why do you remove them from the main register and go and put them in those exception lists? Remove them from the exception list and go and put them in the main register.
Very well.
Simple and short. No wahala. That is what we are looking for. And then everything will be peaceful in this country come December 7th. We don't want a situation where we get to December 7th and people cannot find their names. They will be running left and right looking for their polling stations while they are holding ID cards. We don't want that situation.
Dr. Rashid Tanko, thank you for your time this evening. Deputy Director of Elections of the opposition NDC. Now let's engage with National Coordinator at the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers and CDD. That's Albert Kofi Ahin, who's joined us for more on this. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. I believe you just heard my conversation. How do you feel about some of these concerns that are being raised by the opposition NDC? Do you feel like this will in any way undermine the sanctity of the polls come December?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. Let me say that I'm very happy that the NDC man is saying that they have asked the EC, or the EC has asked them to meet them on Friday.
Right.
So some of these issues can either be explained or resolved. Let me also say that, in fact, the actual essence, the rationale behind the exhibition is to bring out problems, if any, with the register. So it's okay that they have come out with these problems so that if it is substantiated, if these allegations are substantiated, they will be resolved so that we can have a good register for the election. Because honestly, if the register you're going to use for an election is having a lot of problems, then you are not going to have a good election. So I'm happy that they are bringing these mistakes out, if there are mistakes actually, so that it can be resolved.
Right, so if I'm getting you clearly, you're saying that this move by the NDC, if not for anything, rather strengthens this democratic process come ahead of the elections in December. Now, these issues, these 5 key points that have been raised by the NDC, will you say that they are justifiable, though?
You see, until these things are investigated, you cannot lay your hands on, or maybe go to say that these allegations are true or not. Right. For example, Kodio went for the exhibition, but in fact, I was telling another patient this afternoon that we cannot speak to this because we had a small number of observers who went for this exhibition. We never had any report of this magnitude. But of course, there are about 30,000 police stations. So if you visited only a few of them, you cannot lay claim to the fact that you saw this, you saw that, and an anomaly, and it's so huge. But if the NDC has come across some of these problems, it is good that they have informed the Electoral Commission way ahead of time, right, so that this can be resolved before the main election. I'm happy that they have discovered their discrepancies so that the EC can have a look at it and investigate these allegations and then have them resolved.
Thank you so much for your time this evening, joining us on that issue. Now, let's stay on this a while longer. We had the Electoral Commission put out a brief statement which reads that the 2024 voters register is robust, it is credible, ignore assertions that the voters register is not fit for the 2024 elections. So this is what the EC says, with a hashtag accompanying it saying, let the citizen know. Of course, this comes off the back of these concerns being raised by the NDC that the EC is bent on disturbing the democratic process with regards to the discrepancies observed in this voters register. But as you heard earlier there, the EC set to meet with the NDC on Friday concerning these issues that have been raised, and will certainly stay on it and bring you more in subsequent bulletins. Let's do some election-related stories this evening. The governing MPP has vowed to retain the Ablekuma North and West constituencies in the upcoming elections in December. Supporters of the party showed their readiness for victory when flag-bearer Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia toured the area on Monday. Incumbent Member of Parliament for the Ablekuma West constituency, Sheila Bartels, who lost the primaries to Ekuya Afriye at a community engagement, told her supporters to campaign massively for the new parliamentary candidate. There's more in this report.
Well, the flag bearers campaign in the Ablekuma North and Ablekuma West constituency started at the Ododo lorry station, where he had some meet and greet sessions with the traders and then the drivers at the lorry station. Right from the Ododo lorry station, he went to the Malam market, which is also still in the Ablekuma West constituency, where he again had a meet and greet session with the market women there. Right from the Malam market, he went straight to the Kokompe spare parts shops, where he also engaged with the spare part dealers. And then from there, he went to the Christ Apostolic Church, which is also located at the Dakuman. At the Christ Apostolic Church, he engaged with traditional rulers and then the members of the clergy, where he rehashed some of his promises. There, he affirmed his decision to introduce a fund to support female or women traders across the country, and also a bank to support small and medium-size enterprises across the country.
Two institutions, Women's Trade Empowerment Fund. Women's Trade Empowerment Fund. Sasikano, ma businesses of one of Mobeji Sasika. The time which now when your capital business.
Present at the engagement at the Christ Apostolic Church, where the current MP, that's the incumbent MP for the Ablekuma North constituency, Sheila Bartels, and then Madam Afriye, who is now the parliamentary candidate for the Ablekuma North constituency. The two of them pledged to work together to retain the seat, which has been that of the governing MPP for some time now.
Honorable Epi Switch. So this is
Unkun jefa kumbani ba za ku samu brand new tier rubber president. Kun samu brand new tier rubber president.
After engaging the Zongo community, he went to the Sempe Manchester Palace, where he engaged with the traditional rulers and members of the clergy, and rounded off at the Dansman School Park, the last stop school park, where he had what we call the Community Connect, where he engaged the people on what is contained in his manifesto. For GHOne News, Musa Lansa reporting.
Well, meanwhile, a senior campaign aide to MPP flag bearer Anthony Carbo has defended his boss's inability to implement his proposed policies now, despite the fact that he is the sitting vice president. Speaking to journalists on the sidelines of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's tour of the Ablekuma North and West constituencies on Monday, Carbo said his boss cannot do that now because he's not the president.
Convenient truth is the fact that the man doesn't have the authority. I don't know why it's so difficult for you to appreciate the fact that you are going to present this interview. It goes straight to your news editor. He has a final say. Do you have a say? You're also supposed to present your work. It's up to your news editor to determine what is newsworthy and which will go on air. President Mahama, before 2016 election, promised the people of the North that he indeed was going to create a savannah region. He did that. He came into office and was vice president. Throughout his 8 years, he could never lift a finger on that idea which he had sold to the people of the North, that indeed if he was a vice president, he was going to champion the creation of the savannah region. That didn't happen. Could it have been convenience then? He didn't do it simply because he didn't have the authority. Those of us who knew and understood the governance system knows that a vice president doesn't have the authority to proceed. The things that Bawumia has, the okay and support of his president, he's told you well over 30 policies. Why is that not an issue for you?
Earlier today, we had the MPP flag bearer, Dr. Bawumia, visit in Prioso and Abetifi, and the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, is also touring Accra. My colleague, Abdul Hanan Adam, has more and joins us now. Hanan, you've been following the tour. How can you run us through what has been taking place so far?
Honestly, we are currently in the constituency of the region where the seat is currently held by the government party. And earlier, we were in the Amman constituency where the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, addressed the driver of people of the area where the locals are concerned and promised that, or made some pledges that the next MPP government will look into issues and address them when they are in office in the beginning of 7 elections. On top of the issue, this is of unemployment, it includes lack of basic infrastructure, it includes poor road network, inadequate transport jobs in the area, and the shutdown of the Accra and Tawam line, which is affecting productivity in that area. The rail line has been shut for over 5 years now, which is from between 3 to some 5 years. And the people of the area say that a number of youth who were working at the road station have lost work, and this is a major concern for them. And they want the National Democratic flag bearer to address more issues. The other issue has to do with a modern market center where people will trade amongst themselves. Because if you look at things, a lot of businesses are actually happening, but the lack of a central center which is very modern for accommodating all the people in the area is a major priority. And he says that the NDC will look into that. He also says that the women's bank will be established under the next NDC government will support businesses, which is mainly for women. So women who are in that area are doing businesses, which benefits from these policies that the NDC intends to bring to the fore. And of course, earlier, we engaged some of the political parties who were raising concerns about the data going to suffer the 2024 general election. Of course, we spoke about it and urged the EP to keep up and ensure that that particular, those instructions that were found or allegedly found is addressed to ensure that the election of 2024 is one that of integrity and all parties would accept the result if it is.
Very well. Abdul Hanan Adam, thank you so much for the update there. That's our reporter who has been with the team as the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, is touring the Greater Accra region. Certainly more on that subsequently. Now, in some more political news, the Ododo Constituency is expected to have a heated contest, as always, with the exit of incumbent MP Ni Lante Vanderpoy as the governing MPP and the opposition NDC are presenting new candidates for the December parliamentary elections. Ahead of our Voters Connect engagement in the Ododo Constituency on Thursday, August 29, 2024, my colleague Obed King Gaglo was in the area to gauge the pulse of the constituents.
The Ododo constituency has been a political battleground known for its electoral high stakes in the Fourth Republic. The area, which encompasses historic neighborhoods such as Jamestown, Bukum, and parts of the central business districts such as Makola, Kantamanto, and Agbogloshi, has long been a stronghold of the National Democratic Congress, reflecting the political leanings of its predominantly Gandangbe population, who are known for fishing and trading. Some of the notable figures in the constituency's political history is Ni Okainja Damafiu, a former NDC stalwart who served as Member of Parliament and later held various ministerial positions in the 1990s. In the 2000s, Jonathan Ni Takekome won the seat for the NDC in 2004 and 2008 respectively. Elections in the constituency are hard-fought, reflecting the intense political rivalry often marked by tension, passionate campaigning, and high voter turnouts. Since 2012, Edwin Ni Lante Vanderpoy, a former sports journalist turned politician, has represented the NDC in the parliamentary elections in the Ododo constituency. At the peak of the 2020 elections, President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo mistakenly endorsed Ni Lante Vanderpoy instead of MPP's parliamentary candidate, Ni Lante Bannerman.
Na Ododo hano, mo tuama mia, na mo tuama Ni Lante Vanderpoy. But,
although the 2020 elections were fiercely contested with pockets of violence, Ni Lante Vanderpoy maintained the parliamentary seat for the NDC with over 6,000 votes difference. But the parliamentary candidacy of both the NDC and the MPP for the 2024 elections has changed. The MPP will be represented by businessman Abdul Manaf Ni Ajeisowa, who beat Ni Lante Bannerman, the 2020 parliamentary candidate of the MPP in the primaries. According to Manaf, who is optimistic of breaking the jinx of the NDC in the constituency, successive NDC MPs have failed to represent the people of the constituency.
We want development in the constituency. The NDC has not done anything for the constituency over the years. So if I want peace and I want development and I want unity, then at the end of the day, 7th December 2024, we are going to cast, or we are going to go to the various centers and cast our ballot without any confusion, without any intimidation, and at the end of the day, inshallah, we are going to win the seat.
But NDC's Alfred Niko Teashi, who is replacing the incumbent MP Ni Lante Vanderpoy for the 2024 parliamentary contest, says the NDC will do everything legally possible to keep the seats.
I know that the people of Ododo need jobs, and I have told them that those of them who don't have it will help them. My people believe in me. I have assured them that I will support them through education. The painful part, Salaga Market, which was the center of economic activities in Ododo. In fact, in the whole of Accra, have been left to rot. The old building was a death trap. We demolished it, started the new one. We went out of power. MPP came to power. Till date, the Salaga market is still lying there.
But what are constituents saying about these individuals ahead of the December 7 polls?
For Oshiki, ma NDC parliamentary candidate. Ejakeshi bemi ni 2016 na chake mi no mi NDC ni tano shi na chake mi na me ba ame awo na wonye hwechi ye ododo kecho wo ya no impapa wolenyo ni she balage sha gbene kecho wo ya no eyen hwechi ejakeshi amba feni bi ko me kecho wo ya no na ame chake wo ya mi akeshi ame ngan sho. In my lifetime indako I'm 31 years inanko akeshi achake if you
look at Ododo now, everywhere you pass, the man's name is in anybody's lips. Abdulmana of Niajesoa. He is winning these seats.
The constituency is, however, faced with a number of challenges, including youth unemployment, teenage pregnancy, and poor sanitation. As one of the fiercely contested parliamentary seats in the political landscape of the country, can the New Patriotic Party overturn the over 6,000 vote difference in the parliamentary elections in 2020 and win the Ododo constituency? Well, only time will tell. Reporting for GHOne News, Obed Kingaglo, Ododo, Accra.
So remember that we'll be bringing you Voters Connect on GH Today tomorrow and on Morning Star on Star FM. So be sure to tune in. We've got some more election-related stories in the days ahead here on your Election Hub. Stay with us. In some more news here on News Tonight, the temperature at the sitting of the Government Assurance Committee went through the roof of the minister as insincere by the committee chair drew a sharp accusation of bullying from the Ofuase AU.
Be well advised. I will not take that. To suggest that I am using this position as a bully pulpit, you have to retract that, because that is not what I'm doing here.
So,
I
Chairman,
am well within my standing orders. You have to retract that.
Chairman,
you must retract and apologize for that statement.
But it is okay.
I will not take that.
It is okay for the chairman of the committee and the committee to accuse me of insincerity, of introducing red herrings, of deflecting. That is not about the people. That is you accusing me.
Of course, because we are
but
not.
If you are accusing me, I must have a right to respond.
You are introducing matters that are not before us, matters that you have your facts totally wrong.
Which matters are these?
The movement of the soldiers, you have, that was not before us. You introduced that.
I have fact. No,
are we discussing soldiers here?
You introduced.
Are we discussing soldiers here?
You introduced insincerity.
Please, media, take off your cameras, please. Take off.
Chair, with the greatest.
No, we're fine. We're good. No, this is a live coverage. Don't. We're okay. No.
Very heated exchanges there. You're watching News Tonight. We've got more news shortly. Do stay. News tonight here on GHOne TV. In business news this evening, flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, GHOne Dramani Mahama, has pledged to establish a new industrial hub within the Amasaman Suhum enclave to drive economic growth and create job opportunities for the local community. According to him, the area has vast land space that's suitable for the establishment of factories, which would be incorporated under the 24-hour economy policy. Speaking during a community engagement at Ahin in the Amasaman constituency as part of his Greater Accra Regional Campaign tour, the former president emphasized that the proposed industrial hub would focus on boosting manufacturing and attracting investments that will contribute to economic development. In other business news, 3 teacher unions comprising the Ghana National Association of Teachers NAT, the National Association of Graduate Teachers NAGRAT, and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers CCT have expressed deep concern over the government's failure to address their long-standing grievances. The unions have warned that the government's inaction is causing significant unrest among teachers, which could disrupt industrial peace.
In an interview with GHOne News, General Secretary of NACS, Thomas Musa, highlighted several unfulfilled promises from the collective agreement signed on 24th May 2024, including the initiation of negotiations on the deprived area allowance by the Minister for Education within 1 month of signing the agreement.
The money that you have taken from our salary regarding our tier 2 for 12 good months, you have not given it to our scheme. Why? What kind of injustice is that? What kind of injustice? Sometimes you think about it, you cannot imagine. You are saying enough is enough. From 16th of September, whatever happens, the duty bearer should be blamed.
But in response to the teacher unions, the Minister for Employment, Labour Relations and Pensions, Ignatius Bafuiwa, says the ministry is working with the appropriate stakeholders to address the concerns of the aggrieved teacher unions.
We are aware of the issues of threats of strike by university administrators, and then we are also aware of that which was contained in the press conference issued by the 3 teacher unions. I want to assure you that we will engage with them, especially with that of the 3 teacher unions on the issue of arrears of payment of tier 2 contributions. We have had some kind of agreement with them on a roadmap to the settlement of these arrears. If for any reason any of the parties to the agreement is not
Welcome on to Sports Ghana forward GHOne Ayu has expressed excitement on a good start to his Leicester career after scoring his for the side in the Carabao Cup. GHOne Ayu scored and gave an assist as well as Foxes over Tranmere Rovers to progress to the third round of the EFL or the Carabao Cup. Ayu, who joined the Foxes in the summer transfer window, believes the victory would serve as the tonic for the Premier game weekend this weekend in England.
Really happy. The crowd was good to me, so it was important for us to win because we haven't won since the start of the season. So today was very important for us, and I think we played well. We won, we scored goals, played some good stuff, and it's good for confidence for Saturday because Saturday is a very big game for us. I thank God that it's gone in, but the most important is that the team, we managed to get the qualification for the next round, and hopefully we can get a run. As a striker, I need to try, and I just tried because they were really deep. So I said, you know what, let me just try and shoot from far, and luckily today it went my way. But like I said, the most important thing is for the confidence for the team, for us to have a good feeling for Saturday.
Let's go on to the next story, where the opening ceremony for the Paralympic Games is underway currently in Paris, in France. Now, massively at the opening ceremony in a splendid kente outfits they are done or wore for the opening ceremony, which is currently ongoing in Paris, France. Now, France has promised to give a wonderful performance and display for the opening ceremony, plus the whole tournament as well, which follows the Olympic Games itself, which ended some 3 weeks ago. Paralympic sports, of course, is the big one following the Olympic Games to be held in Paris, France. And Ghana is massively present to ensure they get some medals, perhaps than the regular sportsmen who failed to grab any medal for Ghana at the Olympic Games. Let's hope that these wonderful men and women will get some medals for Ghana at the Paralympic Games currently on with the opening ceremony. Tomorrow, the main games kick-starts in Paris, in France. To football news now, Liverpool forward Darwin Núñez has been banned for 5 international games for altercations with fans after national team Uruguay were beaten by Colombia. Núñez, 25, confronting Colombian fans in the stands after the final whistle in the Copa America semi-final game back in July. The player has also been fined £15,000. South American football governing body CONMEBOL issued a statement earlier today stating 5 players have been banned, including the Núñez himself, and 11 fined for their part in altercation in the stands. Rodrigo Bentancur has received a 4-game ban, with Napoli defender Matthew Oliveira, Barca defender Ronald Araujo, and Atletico Madrid defender Jose Maria Jimenez, all receiving 3-game bans for their role in the melee that happened after the game ended between Colombia and Uruguay in the Copa America. That's it for sports. Up next now.
On E-Zone tonight, award-winning musician and rapper Flo Kingston has commented on the recent trend of Ghanaian artists exploring commercial genres like Amapiano, Afrobeats and Afropop. He noted that these genres are more lucrative due to their flexible nature in contrast to rap. Flo Kingston shared these insights during an appearance on Rhythms Live with Blessing Bliss Frimpong.
Rap, the lovers of rap music, well, first of all, Ghanaians love rap. That's the reason why hip life was able to thrive. And that's the reason why there are rappers like myself, like Sako, they're like all those rappers up top. Like in Nigeria, you barely have rappers that, So, but mostly the rap audience is the senior high school. The senior high school to the junior high school. They like to debate. Oh, Stone is better than this. Way is better than this. That debate, they love it. It's like they're debating between Messi and C. Ronaldo. So that culture is there. It's in the senior high schools is in the young ones. One day, the more you grow into wanting to listen to calmer songs, more melodic songs. So you'd realize that you start with rapper, then when you grow up and become like 50, 55, then now you say you want to listen to jazz. Then you'll get to a time you don't even like jazz. You don't even want to listen to lyrics. You want to listen just melodies.
Right.
That's what happens.
Right.
So that rap culture stays within that bracket. But the commercial side is for all. Abrewape, akwaketwape, especially the ladies. And the ladies are the ones who carry the music. The ladies love the melodies. So it's better, or if you want to blow commercially large, it's better you go with the melodies.
So well, on that note, that's how we wrap up with news tonight this evening. Thank you so much for making the time. As always, do visit our website, starfm.com.gh, for lots more news. It was produced by Musa Lanza. I'm Natalie Fort. Have a restful evening.